The best thing about being an options trader is it allows me to homeschool my children. It's important that I teach them the right way to think about the world as early as possible. Here's a picture my son made for me during his art class. I think it's beautiful.
Thanks for watching the video. What I'm going to do is give my reaction to a Bloomberg article and video on a company called IM Academy, which is a trading MLM. Now, here is the article that Bloomberg published on IM Academy. You can go to Bloomberg and read that. It's a really, really good article. I read it maybe sometimes last week. And then now I'm going to give my reaction to the video that they did on the story from the article. Let's get into it.
Talk to people who shared how they lost all their money, how they lost sleep, they lost weight, they lost their girlfriends, boyfriends, they stopped studying.
Those losses eventually caught up with me, and I couldn't keep up with payments anymore. I couldn't, afford to take any more losses.
The world of finance has become a lot more democratic to a certain extent in the last couple of years. This is partly due to online apps like Robinhood or eToro that allow anyone with a phone to start trading in highly risked assets.
I came across IM Academy via a girl on my Instagram who was already with IM Academy. I was in university, and so I kind of was looking for an alternative in terms of like passive income, working from home, time freedom. I remember the girl that I followed.
Now, I'm stopping it because what's interesting to me is that this young woman was at university, right? But she said she was looking for passive income, time freedom, things of that nature. My question to her was that why are you at university if you're looking for these things? If you have a deep desire to have time freedom, passive income, these are the things that you really desire. Why are you at university? So what's the reason why you came to university? And again, and I'm gonna kind of get a little bit into this as we go deep into the video. I think people want to be really honest with why they go after certain offers. Like, what's the real reason? Where was I at in my life where I decided to pursue this particular situation, whether it's a product, a service, or a person? And I think they need to look more inside themselves as to why they thought that was going to be a good situation for them or what they were really looking for, as opposed to think it may have been the external situation, which is the reason why they did it. Okay, let's keep going.
Had a really lavish lifestyle, really nice cars, high-rise apartment buildings. I actually messaged her. It was kind of like, join IM Academy and, we can change your life.
IM was founded in 2013. It really took off during the pandemic. It's now all over the world. Its founder is Chris Terry. He's considered to be the most successful man in the world for the people in the company.
Literally the most humblest person in the world. I'm always working on myself. Because if you don't focus on yourself, you're going to be like the 98%, going to work every day, coming back, going forth, coming back, going forth, like sheep. You guys are 3 feet from gold at all times.
94% of people who join IM Academy lose money as a result, according to IM's own accounts. The company, on the other hand, makes more than $500 million in sales.
Okay, and so they kind of give this statement, and I think the statement is, I wouldn't say it's misleading because it's probably accurate, but I think the conclusion that they're trying to make is misleading, and I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. We've identified this particular academy as an MLM. We know that the majority of people in MLMs do not make any money. The question I would ask, and we're going to go a little bit into it, is that do people join MLMs to make money? Because I can give you another statistic. I can tell you that the majority of scholarship athletes in college never go professional. Now, just recently we've had NIL deals, which allow you as a college professional to monetize your college career. That 10 years ago was impossible, but we still have people on college scholarship. However, the majority of scholarship athletes in college will never go professional in any sport. Does that mean that college athletics is a scam? Scholarship college athletics, I mean, it's a scam. The majority of people in college on a musical scholarship, whether it be band, performance, whatever, classical, whatever, will never be a professional musician. They will never be able to support themselves off their music. They will have to go get a job, even though they were on a music scholarship, because there's very few opportunities to support yourself as a musician, even inside the United States. It's going to like less than 1% of 1% of the population can support themselves as a musician in the United States, which is probably the largest consumer market in the world. Does that mean that everybody that is at school that's a scholarship musician or scholarship band member or whatever, that's a scam? And that's what people latch on to. They hear that, but because they can't look at it from like a macro standpoint, they may not understand. So again, I would ask, if you're in this deal, are you in this deal because you want to make money? Or are you in this deal for something else? Let's keep going.
Chris Terry is a multimillionaire.
Initially, to sign up, it's around $250, but this is per month. It was kind of like, if you're not successful after this, you know, you've had the chance, you've had the opportunity. If you miss it, you have nobody else to blame but yourself.
So when you join
Okay, stopping it again. So it's $249 a month. Now, that's going to seem obscene to people, but the question you want to ask yourself, they're running a business, right? We talked about how much money they made per year. It was like, you know, a few $100 million per year. They're running a business. This is something the internet, in my opinion, has conditioned consumers to have an expectation of. The internet has conditioned consumers that services and products should be rendered to them for free, or they should have the desire or the relationship to where I can partially consume the product or I can fully consume the product, and then at that time decide what I want to pay for the product. Now, you have this on Gumroad, where you can buy somebody's product on Gumroad and decide whether or not you want to pay for it. That's internet. Because what you cannot do is go into a restaurant and eat their food and then decide if you're going to pay, one, and then two, if you do decide to pay, how much money you're going to pay. That's called a food kitchen. It's not called a restaurant, right? You understand me? I want people to really understand, and I keep saying the word understand over and over again. That's something I got to kind of start observing in my behavior. However, I want to make it clear to you that I believe that the internet has created the expectation that consumers can consume products and services and then decide if they're going to pay for their consumption, or decide how much they're going to pay if they decide to pay, or they can just not pay at all. And it's because the internet platform is making all the money off the consumer plus the person that's creating the product or the service. Because YouTube doesn't operate unless it runs ads. That's how it pays for everything. However, the content creator on YouTube is supposed to make content with the hope that somebody's going to pay for it. And then the person that's watching the content, their attitude is that I can watch content for free and I can decide whether or not I want to pay for it later on. Now, they don't have the ability to go to the grocery store and get food out of the grocery store, go home, eat it, and then decide later on if they want to pay the grocery store, or if they do, how much they want to pay. They got to pay when they leave, or else they're stealing. I don't have an issue with this particular organization charging money monthly, because why? They're giving you a monthly service. If they're doing live streams, if they're doing coaching calls, if they're doing anything at that particular level, that costs money to facilitate that. People are involved in it. There's a technology platform that's being utilized to do it. That costs money. And I think that's what the consumer has now been socialized, that everything should be provided for me for free if it's on the internet. That now when somebody says, I'm going to charge you for this, it's, oh, this is just obscene, you're charging me. Let's keep going.
Academy, you join these online lessons, and you're also added to a group of team members that share advice about what to trade and at what price.
Now, I want you guys to think about I Am Mastery Academy like an extremely prestigious university, the Yale of trading or the Harvard of Forex. You're going to learn about a 4-step process that we've created here to help you streamline becoming a self-sufficient trader.
A lot of members have reported simply copy and pasting advice called signals, telling them to, buy a currency at a certain rate and sell it at another rate. A lot of people are trading in crypto and in Forex, foreign exchange markets. Those are some of the riskiest assets out there.
Yeah, let me explain my first day, because I remember that really well. So I remember waking up at the time.
the reporter, I would appreciate if the reporter would explain to me how she defines risk by saying that crypto and Forex are some of the riskiest assets out there. I would ask her, what is her definition of risk? How does she define a risk? What's her risk parameter? Because what she defines risk as wouldn't mean risk to me. Now, this is a financial publication. I have a higher expectation from them than I have for, like, Fox News or, some of these, YouTubers that just talk about stuff because it's a trending topic.
I had university as well. So my first signal came in my second lecture, which I left to place that signal, but my trade didn't come out of the same results as other people's. Around about 3 a.m. there was another signal, and so I remember I started off with £100, which I lost not even in a day. In a few hours I lost that. Over a week it probably started off at around 250, and then that 250 turned into 500, and then that 500 turned into about 750.
So what happens is that people join IM, they learn to trade online, or at least they learn the very basics of it. They start copying and pasting signals. Basically, they start losing money right away.
Okay, so let's talk about what they're doing, which is they're giving out signals, okay? And signals are really, really, really big in this space right now. They're massive. I know people that are doing signals that are making like $250,000 a month. No cap. No, people that are doing signals. There's one guy, he trades SPX. He's got a YouTube channel. He's probably doing $100,000 a month off signals, right? Other people are doing easily $25,000, $30,000 a month on getting signals. Signals are very, very powerful because what they allow people to do is get started in the market without necessarily having to learn anything about the market. I used to do options call outs. They weren't necessarily signals, but I would do a weekly options call out. I want to say maybe now 2 years ago, I would put it on my Facebook page. I stopped doing it because, one, I wasn't really passionate about it. I was just doing it to really work on my skills. And two, people were taking it, and some people were making money, other people losing money, because I was putting up 5 or 6 different scenarios. Therefore, if you picked a scenario that didn't make money, then you didn't make money. Other people may have picked a scenario that made money, that they made money. But I felt bad that some people were not being successful with it. And because I wasn't really passionate about it, I quit. I've had people offer me money to do signals on behalf of their business. I refuse it because I said it's not something I really do right now. And I don't want to kind of take away from my core stuff by trying to figure out what the next call out is going to be, right? So I would say I declined the offer. That's the proper term. However, signals are really, really powerful because it gives people something to do. You come into this particular MLM, it's trading based, and you really don't understand how markets function. And I think that's the real flaw in the education system. This young woman's from the UK. The UK has very, very robust financial markets. However, she has no idea how markets function. And she's a university. We see the same thing in the United States. We see thousands of people graduate from our college universities. And if you ask them to take supply and demand, draw a supply and demand graph, and show me what scenario will create a shortage and what scenario will create a surplus, they wouldn't know where to start. And these are highly skilled people. I mean, you can give this to a nurse practitioner, she wouldn't know how to do it, right? You can give this with somebody with a law degree, and they may not know how to do it. Like, they're just not trained in this particular area. However, this particular activity is going on around you all day, every day. It never stops. Therefore, you are immersed in a market, but you don't know how markets work, which is why you have an inability to operate properly in these spaces, because you don't know how these spaces work. And you're being told it's all these other things. But I'm telling you, you're never going to be able to solve some of these other problems that are ancillary to that till you understand how the market's supposed to function in the first place, right? But that's my own ideology, and that's my theology around this particular topic, right? However, they bring you into these particular signals groups. They feed you signals, and she's having a lot of issues that a lot of people have. The Forex market is essentially 24-hour market. Same thing with the crypto market. So what does that mean? You don't ever know when the signal is going to come out. And you could be asleep at night and something can happen in the Japanese yen market, and you can get the signal, but you can't play it because you're asleep. So by the time you wake up, the play is already over, right? Or it could be the middle of class and there could be something going on in the crypto market, and they could give the signal out, but you can't play it because you're in class. Even with your phone, you're just late to it. That's one of the challenges a lot of people have with signals. I've seen it before. I was in a signals group. That's how I learned how to trade. But most people are not going to do what I did. I didn't just sit back and just eat the person's signals all the time. I said, okay, I'm in this signals group. How do I get out of this signals group? Most people won't do that because I had a strong desire to learn how to do this stuff on my own. I just had no desire to stay in that signals group. I didn't. I wanted to come up with my own plays. I did not want to be dependent upon that person to where if that person decides they don't want to do signals for me anymore, I don't have a way of making money. The goal of what I do is to make you independent of these people being able to put these controls around you. I can't do that if I'm still dependent upon somebody putting these controls around me. I don't have that ability. So I have to show I have the independence first before I try to give it to somebody else, right? Let's keep going.
It's pretty early on, a team leader or the person who's recruited them will tell them, look, you've lost some money trading. If you want to recoup some of that cash, you're going to want to start recruiting other people to join in the company as well.
They did explain that that process was easier in terms of making money. I would say I was more focused on that when I sort of became a little bit desperate myself.
That's how a lot of people get into multi-level marketing.
There was this whole, not ritual, but we would say like, chants.
This is not man-made. This is God-made. This is supernatural.
I believe that people do not join MLMs because they want to make money. I believe there's a lot of other reasons why people join MLMs. Now, MLMs are not new. They've been around before any of us was born. I don't care how old you are watching this YouTube channel. MLMs was around before you was born. And MLMs was around before social media. Now, social media exploded MLMs because it allowed them to scale their marketing at a very, very low cost. However, when you're looking at MLMs, I don't see people that want to make money. You know what I see when I see MLMs? I see people that want community. That's what I see. I do not see MLMs as people are there because they want to make money. That's why I don't evaluate an MLM by how much money you make. I see people that want community. And that's really what I see. And because I see people that wants community, I think MLMs are going to always be around and they'll always be attractive because the lack of community is so big now, especially because of the internet. There's a big lack of community. There's a big lack of connection, and human beings are hardwired to want that. This is why we built cities. This is why we built societies. This is why we have groups of people. Human beings are group animals. They're not individual animals. They're group animals, and they're tribal. And people are always looking for their group, and they always looking for their tribe. And they're going to do that to the day they pass away. And they can have multiple groups and multiple tribes, but they're always looking for them. Human beings are group animals, and they're tribal. People are always going to be looking for their group and their tribe. And everybody, I know this is going to be like a news flash to a lot of these internet people. Everybody doesn't want their associations to only be through a computer. Some people want in-person associations. That's why these type of events for these MLMs, they can do thousands of people. I went to an MLM event one time. It had to be 10,000 people in that event. Like, it was crazy. I've never seen nothing like before in my life. And that's when I started to realize the power of connection. To be able to bring all those people together at that convention center, it was crazy. And I wasn't even in the MLM. I just went to the event just to see it, right? Because I couldn't believe that this MLM, in which the majority of people are not even making money, can get 10,000 people into the room. And then it was massive. It was like who's at a rock concert. That's what I want you to understand. This stuff will never go away because of the human condition. And what we have is a lot of people that are very upset and unpleasant about their life because what they're really doing is they're going opposite of how they're hardwired because of issues that they may have. And really what they need to do is find community, find groups, and figure out a way to connect with people. And I guarantee they'll be a lot happier. But they think the internet is going to be a substitution for that. And that's not how human beings are built. We have millions of years of, I would say, adaptation to being around each other as a necessity to survive. Social media is not even 30 years old. So this idea that all your community and connectivity can come from the internet is relatively new, and it's really not how humans are built. So I think that this model of bringing people into these deals, having these big events, creating these tribes, creating these big mass movements is never going to stop because of the way human beings are built. Let's keep going.
IAM is really an organization that gets young people obsessed with it. They have an entire philosophy around relying on yourself.
I am must become a part of who you are. I am obsessed with success. I am's got to be in your blood.
Chris Terry also uses religion to say he's fulfilling God's purpose. I've met some people who've told me that's the main reason they believe in him. They believe that he will lead them to success. IM is incredibly demanding in the number of hours you have to spend on Zoom calls, on online trading lessons. So you're socializing more and more with IM people and less with people from your previous life. And then they actually outright encourage you to cut ties with those people and to not listen to their advice.
So you're constantly working. It's a 24-hour job, and you felt guilty for leaving or for even just having a few minutes to yourself. It was about 6 or 7 months. I knew I needed to leave, but I didn't really have the courage to leave.
Team leaders reject any negative comments. If you post on your team's channel that you've lost money, they'll tell you you made the mistake. And then if you want to quit because you don't believe in the product anymore because you can't sell it, they'll tell you that only losers quit.
The final day, I had lost, I think it was around maybe 480 pounds. Just couldn't afford to do it anymore. I wrote a long sort of message to her.
Yeah, she didn't lose the 480. She lost the 480 plus what she was paying to be in the deal, because she's paying a monthly subscription fee. And it's very unfortunate. But again, I would ask her, why did you think that this is going to be a good situation for you? So Bloomberg's using her to tell this particular story. But no disrespect to her, but you're in school, trying to get your education. What made you feel like this was going to be able to help you get passive income? You in school to get an education. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I think we need to have that kind of honest conversation with her parents or with some people that are a little bit more advanced than her, and to try to figure out what's really going on in her life to where she wanted to get involved in this at this point in her life, when I'm thinking that you need to be focusing on your college education so you can get out of school, right? So is it the fact that you took on a bunch of school loans? What's pressing you to make you feel like you want to pursue this and be in school at the same time? Because I worked and went to school, and it's not easy, right? It wasn't. And I was working a 9 to 5 and going to school.
Explaining why this isn't for me, and basically explain that I felt misled.
IM may be running the risk of being labeled a pyramid scheme. The Federal Trade Commission is investigating IM for problematic consumer practices.
The biggest scam would be to sort of promote a service, and it's actually, they're entirely focused on recruiting other people.
Now, she's right about that. Most MLMs are based on recruitment, not the product. The product is a lot of times, in my opinion, very weak. Most MLMs, especially product-based MLMs, to me, this is more of a service-based MLM. Many product-based MLMs that I've seen, the product is very weak. It's not comparable to anything I can find out in the marketplace. However, they have to do that so they don't get labeled as a pyramid scheme. So I understand why they're doing it, right? That's just the issue. That's just, I would say the nature of the beast, right? Did she feel like this particular service that they were offering her was subpar in comparison to what she was paying for it? Then she could discontinue it. I don't like the fact that they told her when she went to whoever that I've not made money on my trades. Well, you can make your money back by recruiting. That is a little bit of a bait and switch, right? That is a little bit of a bait and switch. My question, again, I would ask her, if you're a full-time college student, why are you looking for passive income and time freedom? You don't have no time freedom. You're in school. Who has time freedom in college? I didn't. I didn't have any time. I worked and went to school. I had no time freedom, right? I didn't get any little bit of freedom until I went to university. But when I was in community college, I was working 40 hours a week and going to class. I was taking 4 classes a semester and working 40 hours a week. I had no time. I barely had time to sleep. I would want to talk to her about this situation because I think that there's something else going on to where this offer looked attractive to her at this stage in her life, right? And to try to figure that out so she doesn't find herself in the same situation later on with just a different offer. And a lot of people are going to be savvy enough to understand what I just said. This is a young woman. What's going on in her life to where she doesn't find herself in the same position later on in life with just a different offer. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? IM Academy, it's an MLM, no doubt. Am I a fan of trading MLMs? I don't care either way. I don't have a trading MLM. MLMs and MLMs, they function a certain way. The actual product or service to me that they're offering, it often has nothing to do with the MLM structure. The MLM structure is the MLM structure. And I don't believe people join MLMs because they want to make money. I don't believe that. I've known people to be in Amway for 30 years and have made no money, and they still in Amway because they're not there to make money. They're there for the Amway community. It is what it is. They're not there because they want to make money. Because many people that critique MLMs, they don't make any money. So they're critiquing MLMs that you don't make any money. You don't make money at what you're doing. So I don't understand what's going on, right? And that's why I don't judge MLMs by their ability to make people profitable, because people are not there. And there's something else I want to talk about, and I might have missed out. Primerica is very similar to this, and they're a financial services organization. I don't know if the people in Primerica make money either. I don't know, because I'm not in Primerica. And they offer an actual legitimate insurance product. Again, I don't think people are in Primerica to make money. I think they're in Primerica because of the community. That's why I think they're there. I think community is so important to people. And I think so many people are starved of that because of the world that we've built over the past 25, 30 years with all these computers being in people's faces all day, that they're looking for a community, which is why I think these things won't go away. Hope you got some value from it. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.